What they pull you over for, big dog? What they pulling you over for?
Expired tags.
And she need to pat you down for expired tags? That's a little obsessive. At least I think so. I thought expired tag, you could just get a ticket. What's the need to pat down? And you should always record, big dog. And as a passenger, you don't got an ID either. As a passenger, you're not even necessarily a part of the stop. You just happen to be in the car, so you don't got an ID or nothing. Whatever it is she's trying to do. Now, if she asks you to step out, you got to. I don't know, especially just for expired tags. Now, like I said, you don't have the ID as a passenger. You don't have to. So I'm not in your way. Don't consent to no searches or none of that.
Stop.
I can speak freely.
Okay, you need to back up.
I am back. Just like I said, just don't consent to no searches or none of that. Like I said, you're a passenger, so you don't gotta ID yourself, and just don't consent to no searches. Honestly, she's not even supposed to detain you as a passenger. So make sure when it's over, you get her name, badge number, and you file a formal complaint. Because she's not even supposed to do none of this to you as a passenger. You're supposed to tell her you ain't consenting to no searches. You still supposed to say it just so you can have it on record. Still say it. Still tell her. That's so that you did. It don't matter. Let her violate the law. You did your part. Long as you say your part, that's all that matters. Because you could take her to court. She digging in your pockets. You're not under arrest. But he not under arrest. You only supposed to do a frisk, a pat down on the outside. Yeah, you only supposed to pat down the outside of his pockets. So that's unlawful. That's a full search. Now that's a full search what you just did. Well, I know how to do it better than you, obviously.
This video opens with the most real-time rights education in any recent audit compilation, delivered by a citizen who pulled up to witness a traffic stop and is now coaching the people inside through their window before any attorney could arrive. She need to pat you down for expired tags. That's a little obsessive. At least I think so. I thought expired tag, you could just get a ticket. Then the legal framework delivered in real time. As a passenger, you don't got to ID yourself. You don't have to. Just don't consent to no searches. She's not even supposed to detain you as a passenger. Then the moment that defines the legal violation, she literally went in his pockets. She didn't do a pat down on the outside. She basically went into his pockets. That's a full search. That's unlawful. The officer's response: well, I know how to do it better than you, obviously. 3 encounters across this video. An expired tag stop where the passenger's pockets were searched without consent. A Los Angeles parking lot where 2 families refused to leave without a trespass sign. And a protest sign holder on a sidewalk told his sign constituted vulgarity, who had held it in 2 states and 3 counties without incident. The same rights invoked in every one. Different violations documented in every one.
See, passenger, that's why you always film. You don't never let them pull you over. Driver as well. Don't never get pulled over without taping. She literally said she pulled you over for expired tags, but y'all both in the backseat being detained. That don't even make sense. She know I'm right. She done detained the passenger, searched him illegally, everything, all for expired tags. Something she could have talked to him through the car for. and just gave him a simple ticket. They didn't even have to be pulled out, searched, put in the back of the car, none of that. Especially the passenger. He just a passenger, and he told her that he don't consent. So, and she still did a full search. She literally went in his pockets, everything. I don't know what she in there doing. She didn't wash her hands, clean, or whatever she was doing, but looked like she just wasting time. She probably called back up and waiting on them to see what she do now. What's your name and badge number? Hey, y'all make sure y'all file y'all formal complaints, man. Because I am, regardless if y'all do or don't. Can I get your name and badge number? She acting like she can't hear me now. You gonna fail the ID? Or you gonna give me your name and badge number? I'll wait. Ask her.
I was asking you for that to see how.
Well, I'm not conducting the stop. You gotta ask her what's going on.
Is this your car?
Is it? No, she got the people who car it is in there.
Okay. So you're just
I'm just a concerned citizen. Not just to film, just to make sure she's doing her job right. She already overstepped. She done searched the passenger without consent. So that's already a violation right there. And it's supposed to be just for.
Just do me a favor.
It's supposed to be.
A little bit
Well, I'm not too close. That's why you here. I'm not too close. If I was too close, I'll be violating. I'm keeping the distance. I've been distant since I got here. If all she stopped him for was just tags, I don't see what she need to pull the passenger out for. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just a passenger in the car. So why would he be searching ID? What's your name and badge number?
Carrillo.
Huh?
Carrillo,
badge number what?
061.
All right. But yeah, if it's just tags, couldn't she just cited him and let him go?
She's taking the car now.
It look like it's back far enough, so I understand that. But what about detaining the passenger and searching him and all that? He not the driver?
By its very definition, when there's a traffic stop conducted, the passenger.
Nah, no.
The
The passenger don't have nothing to do with the stop. He might have to stay, but he don't have to ID because he's not driving. He's not making the violation. Well, he didn't. She obviously just made him do it. He didn't do it, and then she fully searched him. She didn't do a pat down on the outside. She basically went into his pockets.
You were like right there next
I got it on tape. I got it on tape. I heard it. I seen it. I got it on tape. I seen and heard it.
Then you're probably a little too close.
Nah, it's never too close. That's what Zoom is for. The mic sound Zoom too. Listen, the mic sound Zoom. Listen, the mic sound Zoom as well. And they were speaking loud enough to hear him. So
he's in the car and he gives her that information.
No, he was outside the car when that happened. See, if you was here, you would have knew.
If he's in the car and he gives her that
But
information.
that happened outside car over here.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. If you was here, you would have knew. Right now, you're just assuming because you're not sure. You just got here. I'm telling you as a witness to it.
Go both ways, sir.
I'm telling you as a witness to it. You just assuming I was here. It's a big difference. I'm a primary source. You would be more like a secondary, right?
Calling it like I'm not gonna get sucked into whatever you got going on.
I don't got nothing going on. I told you what I'm doing. I'm just watching.
Right.
Concerned citizen. Everybody should pull up and watch when police is here, right?
Yeah. My question is, are you that concerned of a citizen in your own neighborhood?
Obviously.
With the community members
Obviously I am.
outside of the police.
Obviously I am. It's what I do. I hold government officials accountable. That's my main concern.
Hold community members accountable.
Your concern is to do that. That's your job. That ain't my job. As a citizen, my job is to hold the government.
This segment closes the expired tags encounter with the most specific documentation of what legally happened and the most urgent accountability instruction delivered to the people directly affected. She done detained the passenger, searched him illegally, everything off of expired tags. Something she could have talked to him through the car for and just gave him a simple ticket. They ain't even have to be pulled out, searched, put in the back of the car. None of that. Badge number requested. The officer refuses to provide it. She acting like she can't hear me now. Then, you gonna fail the ID, or you gonna give me your name and badge number? I'll wait. Badge number eventually. 06. Then the instruction delivered directly to the passenger. Request a supervisor to come to the scene now, so you can file your complaint now. Don't wait till later. The backup officer arrives. The citizen names the legal problem directly. If all she stopped him for was just tags, I don't see what she needed to pull the passenger out for. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just a passenger. The backup officer. By his very definition, the passenger doesn't have to ID because he's not driving. He's not making the violation. The backup officer confirmed the citizen's legal position. On camera.
Government accountable. That's your job to police the city.
So you're a Republican, as you say.
I never said I was either or. I'm just a citizen, standing up for people's rights. Now, if that's what you call a Republican, hey, that's your opinion.
I'm just wondering.
I'm just giving you some side on my side. I'm just giving you a little information. I never said I was either or. I'm just a citizen. I'm just a citizen and stand up for people's rights. And like I said, if you want to call that a Republican, hey, to each his own.
We need more people out there looking after everybody.
We need more people like me, for sure.
Everybody.
For sure, we need more people like me. I hold people accountable. I file formal complaints. I follow up. I do whatever. I make small claims. And we go to court after that if we got to. I hold them accountable to the full extent of the law. So,
Hold who accountable?
members of the government.
So if you do the same with council persons?
Yeah, any members of the government.
As long as you're fair about it. I'm okay.
That's why I said members of the government and not specifically police.
I'm good.
All members of the government. Right now it's just specifically you guys because y'all here. But everybody get held accountable. I got complaints on city councilmen, clerks, all type of shit, whoever do wrong. That it don't matter your position. Listen, your position don't matter. As long as it's a government position and you're not doing your job, you get held accountable. That's how I go.
Family 111050
So you typically do the same thing to passengers then, because it sounds like you're in agreement with what she did. You pull a passenger out and detain him when he had nothing to do with the stop. He's just a passenger. Because that's the same thing if he was in an Uber ride. You pull over the Uber driver, the passenger is not subject to your arrest or search or any of that. He can step out and let you search the car, but you couldn't search him just because he's a passenger. So what's the difference with a personal driver? He's a passenger.
Like you said, I wasn't here.
That's why I asked you, would you have handled it the same way?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
I mean, you could tell me. You don't want to tell me.
No, I can't tell you because every situation is different.
Okay, when you pull over, okay, look, if you pull over a car,
made that every traffic stop.
that's why I'm asking you. I don't want to assume. That's why I'm asking you. I don't want to assume.
That's simply not true.
That's why I'm not assuming. I'm asking you, would you handle it that way?
I don't know. It depends on who the passengers are.
You don't know who the passenger are. That's the whole thing. They're anonymous, and they're supposed to remain that way because they haven't committed any infractions. They haven't broken any law or broken any crime. That's not an infraction.
Do you know for sure he's not on
That's
probation?
still not an infraction.
Do you know for sure
That's still. Do you know? You just got here.
I'm asking you.
Do you know?
I'm asking you.
From what I heard, she didn't ask him, so I wouldn't know.
We typically ask that question. That's
Well, I didn't hear her ask. I was right there. You didn't ask me.
I don't need to ask you. What we have right here, this is just a consensual encounter.
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be with a passenger. That's what it's supposed to be with a passenger as well. It's supposed to be consensual because he can. He's supposed to be able to leave too. If he didn't commit any crime, any infractions, why is he detained? He's not even driving. Whatever reason you would stop the driver for has nothing to do with the passenger.
The passenger is seized upon any detention in a motor vehicle.
He don't have to identify himself still. But he still wouldn't have to identify himself. Even if you would say he had to stay, he still wouldn't have to identify himself because he didn't do anything wrong.
He doesn't have to identify himself.
That's what I'm saying. But you said typically y'all identify everybody.
Well, typically they'll provide it voluntarily.
That's because y'all don't tell them their rights that they don't have to. You just ask for it. So since you're in uniform, they think that's what they have to do. Now, it would be a difference if you said you don't have to ID, but would you mind? I guarantee you 90% of them people wouldn't. But when you just say, give me your name and ID, they do it.
They don't have to pull over, but they do it, right?
Well, they do have to pull over if they being stopped.
I mean, I'm just saying it's free will.
No, it's a crime to not pull over. It's a difference. It's a difference between committing a crime and just doing what you want to do within the law.
The problem is you think that I have to go provide a criminal justice 101 class with everybody.
Nah, that's not what I'm saying.
If I ask them,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as a passenger, you don't have to. What I'm saying, as a passenger, you can literally stay quiet as a passenger. You don't have to say shit.
100%.
Even if they ask you if you're on probation or parole, you can literally not say shit.
100%.
And you wouldn't be violating any law. So at that point, why would he have to be pulled out and searched or any of that?
If they don't say that they're on probation or parole and they're identified later as somebody that is on probation.
Yeah, but that's something you would have to identify later. That's something you would have to deal with later. But in the course of what happened in that stop, he's not required to speak to you. So that's something you'll find out later if you do an investigation into a person that you don't even have to. Now that'll be something whole on the sidebar, right?
depends, man.
On what? You saying it depends on what?
There's a lot of factors that you're kind of overlooking.
Like, give me some.
Like I said, I'm
see,
not
you ain't willing to talk. See, you just want to
that.
talk in circles.
I'm not here for that at all.
You're just blowing smoke.
I'm here to provide safety and a backup.
She was never unsafe.
I don't know that. I don't know.
Well, you see that now, right?
I'm saying, right
You
now,
can see that now, right? She's not unsafe, right?
Maybe she wouldn't have been if I hadn't showed up. I don't know.
So I was gonna tape myself, do something to her.
I don't know.
Sound crazy? Is that logical?
There's a lot
Is
of
that
things
something that
happen
is that
that's
something that
logic
typically happens?
There's a lot of
But is
things
that
happen out here
do that
that's
typically
logic.
happen? Do that happen on the norm?
I wouldn't be wearing this bulletproof vest if logic was applied. to
But you still not answering the question. Did you feel unsafe with my presence here? I don't know her name. She wouldn't give it to me yet, so I can't address her. Excuse me, ma'am. Did you feel unsafe with my presence here? Little scaredy cop. I don't got no guns and I'm at work. What's she scared of?
Give me a chance for me to find
You
out.
glad you came
Find
to
young man
stand
like
around and do
yourself.
nothing when there's other crimes that can be solved? You glad you're here?
Are you on the clock?
I am. Are you?
I am.
My job ain't to protect the city, though.
This is my job.
My job ain't to protect the city. Yours is. So while you standing here with me, with an officer that didn't request any backup,
I'm protecting you.
with an officer that didn't request any backup, I feel like you just here wasting time. That's crazy. Y'all get qualified immunity for not knowing the law, but then y'all turn around and tell the citizens, oh, that's no reason. Just because you didn't know it, that don't mean it's not illegal. Y'all go in court and that hold up for y'all. So I don't really understand the system when it comes to that. Can you explain that? I don't think so. Hey, passenger. Passenger. Hey, passenger. You should also request a supervisor. Because what she did was wrong. Y'all should request a supervisor to come to the scene now so y'all can file y'all complaint now. Request a supervisor. They got to call them out. You don't want to wait till later. Can I get your name and badge number now?
He has it.
No, I'm not. You. That's your policy to ID. But I'm not asking him. I'm asking you. What's your name and badge number? The badge number?
What stood out wasn't the expired tags, but how fast the stop escalated once the cameraman began informing the passenger of his rights. A passenger has no duty to ID, no duty to consent, and no reason to be searched absent independent suspicion. The officer's irritation grew as that reality became audible on camera. Pulling the passenger out, searching pockets, and detaining both men went far beyond a citation. This video shows why recording matters. When rights are spoken out loud, unlawful shortcuts collapse, and accountability.
This segment delivers the most legally substantive passenger rights argument in this entire video, and the most honest admission from a backup officer who cannot fully defend what the first officer did. As a passenger, you can literally stay quiet. If they ask you if you're on probation or parole, you can literally not say a word, and you wouldn't be violating any law. The backup officer. The passenger is seized upon any detention in the motor vehicle. The citizen. He still wouldn't have to identify himself. Officer. He doesn't have to identify. Own admission. On camera. Then the institutional critique that cannot be dismissed. Y'all get qualified immunity for not knowing the law, but then y'all turn around and tell the citizens, oh, just because you didn't know it, that doesn't mean it's not illegal. Y'all go to court, and that holds up for y'all. I don't really understand the system when it comes to that. Can you explain that? The officer. I don't think so. Then, the problem is you think that I have to give a criminal justice 101 class with every stop. The citizen. That's not what I'm saying. As a passenger, you can stay quiet. You don't have to say anything even if they ask if you're on probation. You can literally not say it. So why would he have to be pulled out and searched?
Becomes unavoidable. If you believe this officer handled the situation incorrectly, leave a number 5 in the comments section.
Who says?
This is private property.
No, it isn't.
That's it.
No, it isn't.
It is.
If it's private property, why is there no trespassing signs?
There
There aren't any no trespassing signs anywhere.
There's a gate. There's
No, it was not locked. Don't lie. Don't lie.
Okay, I'll call it.
Jacob,
Go
yes,
ahead.
go ahead.
Okay, I'll call
You can also
it.
call.
You press charges against him for threatening
Let
him.
me call.
You can also.
Pepper spray
You can
when
also
my
call.
dog.
You can also call LA
Don't
Family.
do it. I'll take care of it myself.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Excuse you.
You'll
Yes.
see.
Yes.
You will see. You don't have
We
no
will.
power over me.
Excuse you. None of your business.
Well, I have to tell the cherries who's calling for it.
The people with the chihuahuas.
Michael Myers.
The people with the chihuahuas. No.
Just stop.
The people with the
Michael
chihuahuas.
Myers. LA Family Housing
I'll
said
call the
today here
cherries.
too.
Let's see what he says.
Okay.
You can also call LA Family Housing and talk to Connie.
So this is private property.
No, it isn't.
There's no sign.
It is not. It is not. It is not.
It's Metro
It is not.
It don't matter.
And they are not a private company.
They actually are.
No, they are not. If they are, then why are you here?
Why am I here?
Yeah. Because that would be a misappropriation of using city services for a private gain.
This is private property.
No, it isn't.
Just like how someone breaks into houses.
This is not private property.
This is
No, it is not.
property.
No, it is not.
Okay, so
I've looked it up.
So you're right and I'm wrong?
Yes, because I've looked it up. Have you? Did you ask Google if this is private property or public property? No, because I did.
Alright.
Okay, I'll go ask him. So next time. Okay. Alright, thank you. So Gutierrez didn't give you permission to be here, but I'm gonna go ask the security because I guess until he's in it, he's gonna come and go next week there or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go ask him if he wants to trespass.
If you want us gone, you can tell that to mayor who tells you what to do to come down here and tell us in person.
Alright, Mom, I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the security.
Like I care?
You're gonna walk over there? Okay.
Oh wow, look at a police officer who can walk. Wow. I'm surprised. You don't scare me.
I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not
Okay.
scary for you. I'm not trying to scare you.
Okay.
He's threatening my dog me with pepper spray, so I want something done about it.
You threatened him with the bat.
After the pepper spray.
Okay.
After the pepper spray.
Alright.
Pepper spray first.
Alright.
You
That's
can.
why I grabbed the bat.
Alright.
Nobody's gonna f my dog or
Okay.
me.
You fuckers let people pepper spray us on the street any damn time. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Go back to your station. And why don't you look it up?
Okay.
All the incidences on Aetna for the past 5 years. Look up all the incidences and find out.
Alright, so-
I've made reports. I've made reports and nothing's happened.
Alright, can I-
So you know what? This is to you.
Alright, cool. Thank you. So here's what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen?
If he wants you to trespass, because this is
No,
your property,
no, you cannot. Nope.
And-
There aren't any no trespassing signs. I looked at the law. No, you cannot. You cannot talk to me. No. There has to be signs.
Alright, so
It doesn't matter. There has to be signs. There must be signs. There aren't any signs. You cannot get us for no trespassing.
So here's what's happening. Can
They
I
have to give
continue?
us a warning first.
Can I talk? Yes.
As long as you're gonna speak the law and the
So,
truth.
Can I talk then?
Speak the law and the truth.
Alright then. Let me speak and don't interrupt me. Here's what's happening. We're asking him right now if he would like to take a private person's risk. If he does not, you will be warned for trespass. That's when you guys have to walk out the property.
Nope.
If you are still here within the next hour or so, we will arrest
Nope.
you for trespass.
No, you cannot.
This is private
No,
property.
no,
Alright.
it is not private property.
So Gutierrez, he
I
told
want
me
him out here.
he told me y'all not supposed to be here.
Get him out here.
Said to stay
Okay.
right here.
Get him and the mayor to come out here and tell me face to face.
Okay.
We have it on video.
First of all, it's over 100 degrees. You cannot, by law, make us move. I don't give a where we're sitting at. You cannot make us move. Because if anything happens to us, if anything happens to my son who has a seizure, what law?
What law says that?
Well, every judge that's been around.
So can you tell me the law, the penal code, the LEMC code,
Why don't you look it
the
up?
municipal code? Can you tell me?
Why do I have to?
Well, you're telling me about the law.
It's not a municipal code. It's not a. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what it is. Do you not watch the
So
news?
there is nothing to your knowledge that
You don't.
tells you could be here at right now. Is what you just told me.
Yeah, there is. I can be here.
Okay.
There aren't any no trespassing signs.
That's not required.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
To give us a ticket or a warning for no trespassing? Yes, it is.
So when it's-
Look it up.
When it's private
I've done
property,
it.
when
Nope.
It's private property.
This is not private property.
And it's not.
This is. If it was private property, it would have no trespassing signs
Okay.
on the gate. It does not. There have never been no trespassing signs on any Metro property since Metro bought this property from the previous owners.
Who's the previous one?
I don't know. I don't know what businesses were here.
Okay.
I'm not from this shitty ass place.
Okay.
We're from the real valley, the San Gabriel Valley.
San Gabriel Valley?
Yeah. We don't have nothing to do with the San Fernando Valley.
Okay. So you don't know how LA works?
Oh, I know how LA works. I know how crooked you are.
Okay.
I know how crooked and ignorant you are. I watch everything.
You watch everything?
Yeah. I do. I've been learning a lot over the past 10 months from We the People University.
Oh, wow. So you went to university?
You don't even know what We the People University is. Abaya Israel, former police officer, former sheriff's deputy. He gives some real good advice. And I know for a fact, because I looked it up, there must be signs stating, at least one sign stating that there is to be no trespassing on the property before you can give us a ticket or even a warning. It doesn't matter if it's private property or publicly owned property. There must be signs. Look it up. I told you I already have. Because they tried it before in Chatsworth. It doesn't work. You can't give us tickets for something that's illegal. And trespassing is not an illegal thing in this parking lot because there aren't any signs.
This encounter features the most legally detailed trespass refusal in this entire video, delivered by a woman who has researched California trespass law, knows the sign requirement, and invokes a heat emergency ruling that the officer cannot disprove. If it's private property, why are there no trespassing signs? The officer says signs are not required. The woman, yes, it is required. Look it up. There must be signs stating at least one sign that there is to be no trespassing on the property before you can give us a ticket or even a warning. It doesn't matter if it's private or publicly owned property. There must be signs. Then, the 100-degree rule. The city of Los Angeles has been ordered not to put people out where they're at when the temperatures rise over 100 degrees. As long as they have the cooling centers open, LAPD cannot make us leave. The officer tries to threaten trespass arrest. You're warning us for trespass. Where's the no trespassing sign? Per your own law. No, no, no. The officer eventually. If you're not gone next week, MTA will remove you or arrest you. Get the mayor to come out here and tell me to leave. Have it on video.
There must be signs. You cannot make us leave.
Thank you for educating me.
Yeah, judges have said that when it is over 100 degrees,
Ooh, what judge?
judges, many judges in Los Angeles.
You think you can look one up right now?
Why should I?
Oh, it's because you're trying to educate me. I want to know the judge, right?
Go ahead, look it up.
Oh, okay.
Look it up for yourself.
All right.
You claim to know what laws are. I don't believe you because I've seen many officers ignorant of the law, even when I do show it to them. I don't have to show you it. You should know it. You should be up on what laws,
So
what things are
What
changing.
penal code is that? It says you shall be here when it's under 100 degrees. I don't know what's the penal code. It doesn't exist. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No one said it was a penal code.
All right, then is it a municipal code? Is it enforced? So.
I don't know what judges have done.
Okay.
All I know is that the city of Los Angeles has been ordered to not put people out where they're at when the temperatures rise over 100 degrees.
I have not received a special.
Yes, you have, because as long as they have the cooling centers open,
Okay.
as long as they have the cooling centers open, you, LAPD, cannot make us leave. So if you want to make us leave, you're going to have to get all those cooling centers to close. Because that means the temperature is too hot for travel. It's too hot for anyone to go anywhere, especially those who have underlying conditions, such as my son who has a seizure disorder.
So Gutierrez did not give you permission. I don't know why he's saying that. I just called him, didn't give you permission. You don't want to leave? That's fine. MTA, because this belongs to MTA, is going to come sometime next week. And by the time, if you're not gone next week, it's going to either remove you or arrest you. Up to you.
They can't.
By the way,
You do not listen. You don't listen.
They're going to lock the gate, so you're either going to be locked inside unless you want to move. As of right now, I'm leaving. I'm warning you. You're trespassing.
No, there aren't any where's the no trespassing sign? Where is the no trespassing sign? Per your laws, no, don't lie.
So we're
Don't
leaving.
lie.
Have a better day.
Bye, bye, children. You little cunt. You think that stick scares me? You don't fucking scare me. You don't scare me at all. Go.
Trespass requires clear authority, lawful notice, and an actual owner asserting rights, none of which happened here. No posted restrictions, no cited statute, and no immediate complaint means there was no enforceable violation in real time. The key moment is when officers admit they don't know the code, yet still issue commands. Policing by assumption isn't enforcement, and without a legal foundation, the order itself fails.
Huh?
Can you go to the police department?
Why are you here?
Just had a concern from the business. Wondering why you were out there, sir.
Oh yeah? They can't read?
I didn't see you.
No, they can't read? I'm pretty sure they called you because they don't like the freedom of speech. I'm not giving you ID.
Can I get your name and date of birth?
Nope. Have I committed a crime? Do you have probable cause?
No, sir.
Am I being detained?
What's your sign say? I just asking.
Huh?
Do you mind just asking what your sign says?
Says they screw?
Okay, is that really what it says, or does it say my quote? Fuck me.
Nah, that is F with a star and a
Right.
CK.
Okay.
So
sir,
I could actually publish
Here,
that on
listen,
TV.
we'll talk to you. Okay, listen. You get the call, okay, with the sign. I get that you're upset, you're frustrated with them. Alright, if you want, your camera's directly on me, that's fine. But I do like talking eye to eye, if you're good with that, okay? So have you tried to talk to them and settle the whole issue?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I made
So
it
this
all the
is-
way to the CEO.
Okay, so this is the thing, alright? We get a call, we get a complaint. You're holding a sign that does have vulgar language.
No, it doesn't.
Listen, let me talk, okay?
Doesn't. I've held this sign in 2 states and
That's
3
fine.
counties.
Listen.
So
Well,
now
we
you-
know what it means, right? We know what it means.
That does not matter. Vulgarity is a legal term.
Listen, I'm not here to...
It's a representation of vulgarity, kind of like, you know, on TV when they go beep. No. Is this a consensual
Listen,
conversation?
If we get further calls, okay, because now we know what your sign says, and it causes a disturbance, that actually is illegal.
No,
so
it's not.
We're being nice word. I don't care whether you disagree or not.
You
have your day
can't.
in
You
court to
can't.
disagree, okay?
You can't
But I'm
convert.
saying when
You
tell
can't
somebody
convert
that
my
you've been-
freedom of
you've been,
speech.
Okay, effed, okay,
Yeah.
and it offends people, especially like if there's families, and these are all examples.
If
families
there's
or
kids
anything
in the
like that,
car, I
okay?
close the
So I'm
sign.
just telling you, but you can't see.
Yeah, I
okay?
can.
We know you can't see.
I
Okay?
can.
Right. How many people were in that car that just passed you?
I wasn't paying attention. You were
Correct.
distracting
Exactly.
me.
And when we pulled up to you, you focused on us, and you were focused on the other cars. You're not focused on these cars passing you. You're not focused on these cars actually.
That's because you're distracting me.
Right. When we pulled up to you. Okay.
No, no, no. There was a car right there with 2 people in
I was
it.
just asking you
And I was
nicely.
pointing to the fact that you guys are here and they called you specifically to violate my right of freedom of speech. Yes, they
It's
did.
freedom of speech until you offend somebody. But
No.
Yes.
No, sir.
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay.
I did not.
So watch
There's
the
no
language.
vulgarity. Nope.
Watch the language. Okay?
Well, you can go f- yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there you go. See, that's the freedom of
So we're
speech.
going to talk to them if you step on the property.
I have
we'll talk
not
to them.
touched
I
their
know, just
property
give me a
line.
moment. If you step on the property, we'll talk to them. And if they want you to go to jail, you'll go to jail.
Well, you'd have to trespass me first and then give
I
me
know, that's what I'm
notification.
Right. That's what I'm
Which
telling
is
you.
going to
We'll
be
talk.
harassment since I never touched their property
We'll
line.
talk.
Well,
That's what
go
I'm saying.
ahead. You go talk to him, big
Okay.
guy.
All right. No problem.
And what's your badge number?
283.
280. What's your badge number? Yeah.
So either way,
And
as
so,
long as we
are
don't
you
get
under
calls about
oath
you
here
offending
today?
anybody,
Did you?
I'm not.
No.
As long as
You
as
didn't
long
take
as
an
we're
oath
not
to-
in court, okay?
No. That when you take an
Any other
oath,
questions? No.
you can go f- yourself.
No problem.
You're an asshole.
Okay. You have a good day, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Goodbye,
Do you
asshole.
need sunscreen or anything?
Nope.
Do you need any water? 'Cause I do have water in the car.
Yeah, I'll take a water if you really want to give me one.
What's that?
I'll take a water if you really want to give me one.
Okay. You sure you don't want sunscreen, man?
I'm positive.
Okay.
And this is how this video ends, with the most textbook consensual encounter in this compilation, where an officer confirms it is consensual, demands ID anyway, cannot cite the statute for why the sign is illegal, and then offers the citizen water before leaving. You have a driver's license or ID with you, sir? Response: I'm not giving you ID. Then, have I committed a crime? Do you have probable cause? Officer: No, sir. Then, am I being detained? No answer given. The sign claim: the officer says the sign constitutes vulgarity because everyone knows what F*** means. The citizen: I've held this sign in 2 states and 3 counties. The officer: Listen, vulgarity is a legal term. The citizen. It's a representation of vulgarity. That's not vulgarity. Badge 283. Named. Are you under oath here today? The officer confirms. No. The citizen. As long as you didn't take an oath in court. The encounter ends with the officer offering sunscreen and water. I'll take a water if you really want to give me one. And the officer, who came out to enforce a complaint about a sign and could not cite the statute making it illegal, walks back to the car without an arrest, without a citation, and with a water bottle to give away.